Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset, episode 151. This podcast is about anything and everything related to the Destiny franchise. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This Reset, Cyborg returns to the show. As we celebrate 3 years of Destiny Reset, we unload all the new info on Forsaken, and we have a serious talk about sandwiches. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's AER0KNIGHT, and here with me this week, I think you know him, CyborgSasquatch. What's up, dude?
Hey, guys, it's me, Manny G.
You're back
again.
I gotta say, you don't sound anything
coffee
like
and
that.
Adventure.
At least your attempt here sounds nothing like that smooth voice of
I can't do it. I can't do his voice. It's too smooth and mellow.
I couldn't even let him get through the show without commenting on that like I usually do. I guess maybe I have a crush on Manny.
How's it going, man?
It's good, dude. It's great to have you back. We missed you last week.
Good to be back. I enjoyed the show last week, though.
Dude, isn't it?
It was great
it's been a bit since you haven't been on. It's been quite some time on our show. And isn't it interesting? It's
always fun to listen.
Yeah, like I wasn't...
When you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, like I wasn't on an episode a while back, and it's cool to just listen to it, you know, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. But I'm only sad that I wasn't there for Manny's return, because you know that I bounced around trying to get him back recently, and you're like, oh no, I don't know. And then you got him on somehow.
It worked out, dude. It worked out. We gave him enough advance notice. So
he's been around long enough that he could hold it down with you, and y'all did a great job, and I enjoyed the show.
Well, hopefully we talked about how, especially as long as you and I have been doing this, how you just kind of bounce off each other and you know what each of you does throughout the show. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. Like Manny, I know is going to fill the shoes great, but like, okay, Cyborg usually does this and I do this. And I'm like,
yeah, who's driving when, right?
Yeah, it's too funny, man. Which, you know, speaking of that, I mean, we'll get into it, but it's 3 years this week, dude. So no wonder we're like
3
in a groove. 3 years of doing this together, man. Like we're just in a groove, man. Like we it's been a long time. It's crazy, dude.
151 shows.
Yeah.
1,095 days.
It's crazy.
36 months.
Wow. Why do we play Destiny? Episode
2
1.
different Destiny games.
Yep.
I went back recently and I listened to episode 1 because we had an email from somebody and they were asking us.
Yeah, we've been banking that email.
Yeah, they were asking us about episode 1, and
did you fall asleep?
The subject was, why do we play Destiny? Because we were trying to introduce our motivations for doing this show. And I took a couple notes, some funny things that we talked about. Arrow said that you played a lot when you should be sleeping. You said that you were on the verge of being a hardcore gamer, but not quite. I said that I was a recovering hardcore gamer. Oh, how things change.
I need to go listen to that whole episode. It's so funny to hear it, dude, because through the whole show, like, even though we're trying our best, we're just like, yeah, man, and I played Destiny.
You know, it's not surprisingly, it's not a whole lot different than it is now.
I mean, we
go back and listen.
Told we have pretty chill voices.
Go back and listen. It sounded surprisingly similar to our flow now. I was surprised. I was expecting like Omega cringe.
That's funny.
This is not that bad.
I mean, I feel
like terrible audio.
Terrible audio.
I was in my kitchen of my old house and it was just all echoes. You sounded great, and I'm just like, oh yeah, man.
I think I'm still in the same room, bad. Dude. So nothing's changed in my setup other than I think I'm on a banked up against a different wall in the same room. That's funny. That's so funny. Yeah. But dude, 3 years, man. It's been a blast, dude. Like
3 years of DRP.
Wow.
I never didn't think we'd make it this far, but I never thought we would come this far with this show.
It's yeah. I mean, and we had all these little milestones of our own. We didn't even honestly knew, at the time all of them existed. We just like today, we just want to talk about a game we love to play. And man, all the things that have happened and all the people we've met and it's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
And I was thinking a few weeks ago, we still haven't got that steak.
Oh, right. We got steak and shake.
We haven't talked about that for a while since last year.
That's true.
We still haven't gotten that steak.
We got when we met when we went to Guardian Con last year, we got steak and shake, and man, it was good. Yeah. But yeah,
that was a fun meal.
No,
you remember our waitress?
Yes, I do.
She was something else.
She was awesome. Yeah, we ended up getting side-by-side shakes. Unfortunately, to everyone's, I'm sure you probably hoped we would, but we didn't share a shake with 2 straws.
No,
we did have our own.
It's not like that.
Yeah, no steak though.
Anyways, so 3 years of DRP, and we've done a lot of things, and we've recorded a lot of audio, and had a lot of cool people on the show, and we've somehow spawned a very awesome community in spite of us, I think. Sometimes it just kind of happened that way.
Just happened.
So, yeah.
Well, happy anniversary.
Congratulations to us. Happy anniversary. 3 years ago this week, episode 1 debuted of Destiny Reset podcast. It was not long after House of Wolves expansion released. And
Trials.
That was a time. There was a little time around the same time that we started. A whole lot of content creators got started. So there's a lot of people looking at 3 years.
Yeah, we started like 2 or 3 episodes after Crucible Radio, wasn't it? Buddy's over there, I think.
And then there's a lot of streamers and YouTubers that started right around that same time, that spring, summer time frames. So shout out if you're an OG like that with us.
Go back and listen to episode 1, guys, and let us know what you think.
Nah, don't do that. It's cool.
Well,
all right.
We want to tie, we love our sponsor, Blue.
Blue Microphones?
Blue Microphones. We heard of those guys before. We want to do a giveaway celebrating our 3-year anniversary. It's a very simple idea, but we would love to hear from you guys over the last 3 years. Send us a speak pipe or an email of your favorite moments of Destiny Reset.
Yes, from the show.
From the show, yeah. Well, what has been your favorite moment? It could have been the many times we've said a word wrong, a gamer tag wrong, anything cringeworthy, or maybe not.
Could have been that geography lesson about your hometown.
Oh, yeah.
You're an OG if you remember those. Could have been that time Arrow couldn't read that one email right.
Right?
He struggles with names.
Sometimes I do.
It's true.
Sometimes I don't even attempt it. It could
be anything. So
it could be any issue that issue. It's been a while, dude. I feel like we're bringing back all the old stuff.
So whatever your favorite moment was, please send it to us. Speakpipe.com/Destiny Reset or Destiny Reset podcast@gmail.com, and let us know, and you will be entered to win a Blue microphone, a Yeti, a USB Yeti, or a pair of Lola headphones, your choice. These can be shipped anywhere in the world, so yes, if you're international, you are eligible. Send us that. We're going to give you, let's say, 2 weeks to send those in. So we'll give you till the 10th of July, and then we will choose a winner.
There it is.
Randomly, by RNG, just like everything in Destiny.
Always.
Yeah. We don't play favorites.
Like those catalysts.
Just RNGesus. Another announcement real quick. Guardian Con is upon us. whether you wanted to or not. And that's happening July 13th and 14th in Tampa, Florida. So a couple business items there, just to update you if you went last year and you're expecting some things. So I will be there. AER0KNIGHT cannot make it. Therefore, we do not have a live show this year. We're sorry. We may try to do that again next year if they will have us. But I'll be there to represent the Dirt Fam. I'm working on what we may do about a meetup. I'm coordinating with somebody else about something fun in particular, and I'll let everybody know when that's time to talk about that soon. But in the meantime, we've set up a channel in Discord, GuardianCon 18, where you can join if you're planning to attend. And if you go in, you follow some instructions, I'll give you a special role where we can then tag you so that if we want to notify you about happenings, say a meetup or get a head count or just anything going on, we can tag each other and not have to do that dreaded at everyone, that everybody hates in Discord. So go join that channel. If you're not in the Discord, it's discord.gg/Destiny Reset. Go jump in the channel, follow the instructions. I'll give you a special role, and then we'll be able to talk with each other. Also, if you're not going, that'll be the place where you can, watch what's going down. Everybody will be posting pictures and selfies and you name it, and talking and chatting, and you can live vicariously through all of your friends in the Dirt Fam that will be attending. But go check that out.
That's what I will be doing this year. I will miss all of you,
man.
I hope to go next year, but I would like, maybe we can do like a FaceTime for just give me a moment.
I'm gonna FaceTime while I'm out there and let you talk with people. But I mean, dude, you're missing it the year that Bungie shows up.
I know, right?
I mean, come on.
I know. When they announced that, I was like, seriously, guys,
son of a
come on. But luckily, I have had the opportunity to play Gambit, and I can't wait to hear.
You got a leg up.
I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Like, it's awesome.
I'm gonna be in there.
Oh, it's so great that everybody's gonna get to play it, dude. It's really cool that they're doing that. So
yeah, I'm pretty excited. They also have like an hour on main stage. I don't know what they're doing yet. So,
well, I expect text messages from you.
We'll find out.
Updating me on these things.
Oh, I will.
What am I talking about? I'll just join the channel.
Text you things. Yeah. I'm gonna go take pictures with all the community managers and all the devs that come, and I'm gonna send you pictures, and I'm gonna get them to autograph stuff, and it's gonna be awesome.
Do it.
All right, I'll be thinking about you.
I know you will.
All right, that's all the announcements this week.
That's it.
How about some news?
Oh
boy, the drip feed has begun, boys and girls, and we've got quite a flow of information for you. Of course, with the reveal and the story reveal last week at E3, there's been a wave of press, and we have done our best to keep up with all that. And we've got lots of little nuggets. Lots of little nuggets for you.
Just like last week, it's turned into all these bullet points of random areas of updates.
If you've been around, you know how this goes. They're going to be doing this all summer long. A little bit at a time, just stoking the forge.
Exactly.
But first, this week at Bungie, we welcome back to Factions. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this just 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I was thrown off by that. Yeah, it was
doing it just like the week after Iron Banner, so they're fitting this in quick.
Yeah,
this is a week ahead of schedule. Okay. Iron Banner, of course, was this week, and there is Faction Wars returning next week, or this reset, now that you're listening to this. And they wanted to send out clarifications about winners offering weapons. They said previously that winners offering weapons would be added to the event reward pool after the first event, but that is incorrect for Season 3. This season, Factions will continue to offer their original winners offerings for all 3 events. So the weapon available if your faction wins stays the same for all 3 events.
Yeah, I read this like 5 times, and I thought I had it, but you just confused me again.
So so last season, every faction rally, the factions offered a new weapon up for grabs if they won.
Each time. Yeah, each time
Yes.
the event came up.
And after that ended, the next faction rally, you could get that weapon through like packages and stuff, just randomly. None of that happens this season.
So like we're not getting a new set of
offer. Yep, they're gonna offer the same weapon all 3 faction rallies.
Okay.
And you will not be able to get it through packages.
So we'll see the sidearm again for future War Cult.
Yep. This
Today,
totally
as you're
seems like a
listening to
way to make sure that like
You can get your hands on what you want.
they give each faction a good chance of winning.
Well, that's fine with me because I want that future War Cult sidearm. So I'll pledge. I'll go Dead Orbit again to hit 50, and then the third go round.
I don't know, man. I've been watching a lot of polls. It looks like everybody's going future War Cult
This time. All the people
roll.
that grinded to 50 the first go round.
Yep. Because everybody wants that. And they want
Which is fine though, right?
War Cult
Because
catalyst
if I do Dead Orbit this time, hit 50, get my Vigilance, or sorry, my Graviton Catalyst, and then if Future War Cult wins this time,
yeah, you could go buy it for 50k Glimmer.
yeah,
So it would be okay.
or if I pledge Future War Cult the third event, I can get it right then, can I? It'll be there to purchase right away.
I don't
If they
think
win?
so. I think you have to buy it during what is the week after called?
That's right. Yeah, the what is it called?
It's something week, like I can't, celebration or like
I cannot think
I
of
don't
it right
know.
now.
Whatever the week after faction rally is. I think you have to buy it then.
Okay.
But
We'll make it work. That works though.
so yes. So that is faction rallies. Next up, they are talking about the exotic armor update with 1.2.3 that's coming. So let's talk about some of these real quick. We've got Lucky Raspberries with the Hunter. Increased chance to fully recharge your Arcbolt grenade on Arcbolt grenade hits. Guarantees a recharge and getting a full chain that hits 4 targets. So this makes that a little bit stronger. And I think this is definitely suited more for PvE.
Right. Yeah, the PvE side.
Yeah.
That seems
Next up, Stompies, or however you want to pronounce that, but it's Stompies. Increased benefits when using strafe jump and triple jump. So they mentioned that people using Stompies in the Crucible was fairly common, but people were only using high jump because that's how it affected it. So they tweaked the other jumps to give it more impact so you could use what you want, which I prefer triple jump. So
Yep.
Young Ahamkara's spine removed the marking functionality. That's just gone. Improved trip mine grenades blast radius and throw speed and make it so your trip mine grenades are harder to destroy. Solar ability hits now grant some trip mine grenade energy. So they're kind of doubling down on the grenade utility here.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to make the trip mines harder to destroy. Just
give
more damage?
HP. Yeah.
Think?
Just give them more HP.
Call it a day.
Yep. All right, Titans. ACD/0 feedback fence.
I like this one.
Shut up, Siri. Now grants Fury Conductor stacks on melee hits instead of kills. So previously to proc this, you had to kill stuff to get the thing to stick. Now you just hit people. And Fury Conductors now grants stacking melee damage resistance. So basically, this makes it better in the Crucible, but it's mostly for PvE where if you're hitting stuff, then as stuff hits you, you become less prone to that damage.
Mm-hmm.
And you also build up that perks effectiveness doing hits. This makes a lot of sense for this exotic. Like, this could be fun to play with.
Yeah,
they have a lot of melee based exotics in Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
They have like Karnstein amulets for the Warlock, and then there's I can't remember the name of the other one for the Warlock, and then they have this for Titans, and there's the other one that's like the Warlock exotic, where every time you punch, it gives you more damage. I wish I had the names of these up, but they really leaned into those.
Syntheseps. No, yes.
No, is it Syntheseps? Is that there is Syntheseps, but there was a new one I think that they added. And it might have been like the Warmind exotic that you got from the campaign. I'll have to go pull it up in Dim.
Yeah, I'm excited about this ACDO feedback fence one.
Yeah.
I'd be interested.
Those were always like, I always thought they were a really cool design, like look and a cool like idea, but they never, like, it never was good enough to wear it ahead of other exotics.
Right. Yeah.
Now I kind of might.
The other dude, I got the ornament for him as well a couple weeks ago, and it's a beautiful ornament. It's like my exact blue.
I wonder if I have that. I want to say I might.
In my logo, and it's a beautiful ornament, dude.
Blue.
Yeah, it's so. But I use them a little bit, but not. It's not like that go-to exotic. So I'm hoping this adds that magical element to it. So
okay,
we shall see.
Doomfang Pauldrons. Void melee kills now grant more super energy. Shield throw hits will now extend the duration of your super. This sounds cool because I love throwing shields. And this could be really fun in PvE if you've got a lot of ads, just to like continuously throw shields over and over.
Yeah. I haven't been using the old Sentinel too much. I did just get Armamentarium finally this week. So I'm hoping, obviously, because Xur had it. We haven't talked about Xur in a while. I haven't been able to get that to drop, but I'm excited to maybe use double suppressor grenades. Anyways.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry, tangent.
Scary.
Dune
Marchers. Reduce the time to activate linear actuators while you are sprinting to 1.5 seconds, down from 5 seconds. That's a big difference. These are going to get used a lot more. Increase the damage of the chain lightning effect plus 70% in PvE and 440%
Crazy.
in PvE.
Yep.
That's significant.
Yeah,
So
I remember watching a video on those. I think it was MTash maybe, and he, like, the damage, the lightning damage didn't even kill like a little trash ad. It wasn't like, it was like not substantial at all. So the 440% is going to be,
it's needed.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. All right, Warlock. Crown of Tempests. Collapse the total number of stacks of conduction tines to 3 with the same total effect, and each stack of conduction tines lowers the upkeep cost of Storm Trance.
What do you think?
I should really know what that means, but I don't. So
You're a
I'm about
resident
to
warlock.
pull up the original perk on this. Conduction tines means arc ability kills increase the recharge rate of your arc abilities. So it's a loop. So, and each time that you would get kills with your arc abilities, it would stack, I believe. So I think the idea with this is when you pop Storm Trance, that you can use the kills that you get to recharge your other abilities. And I think when you stack this a certain number of times by saying it lowers the upkeep cost, I think that means you can extend your super longer. Like by using your lightning fingers, you can use it more times.
I'm just patiently waiting to hear what you think about
these
armlets.
Karnstein armlets. Removed melee hit effects. Melee kills now instantly heal you, then grant continuous healing for 8 seconds.
What?
Sounds pretty dope.
Sounds, yeah, pretty solid.
I have to use that. I've used these in the raid before, and they were good for the I forget the name of the part in between instances, but I want to say Presidium, but that's not what it is. But usually, so the perk for this is melee attacks grant increased resilience and mobility, and they highlight injured enemies. Melee kills greatly restore health. So that was the old perk. And basically they stripped off the resilience and mobility buff and just doubled down on the healing and the continuous healing. Which, like, the resilience and the mobility, like, didn't do a ton. So, Starfire Protocol. This is cool. Empowering Rift weapon damage hits now grant fusion grenade energy, 20%. So basically, you put this on, you do an empowering rift instead of a healing rift, and when you are shooting the guys, your fusion grenade will charge faster. So this is probably a pretty good DPS build, I think is what they're trying to do. Where you can use that fusion grenade to, unload and then get your fusion, throw it, unload some more, get your fusion back, throw it, right? Yeah. So fusion grenades are good, like DPS, like single target ability. So that's pretty cool. What I really love about that they're doing Destiny 2 is like they specialize stuff more.
Yeah.
So you can do more builds with certain pieces, because those are things that you can't do as much like within your subclass like you used to be, Yeah. Like you could spec like, different grenade effects in Destiny 1, like just different stuff. Now they do that more with like armor.
Right.
And I like that.
Well, plus we've learned to, we know, we can't spec. We have to pick a tree with the subclasses now, and a lot of people would like kind of the old school where we could pick different nodes and mix and combine the way we want. But of course, we've learned that the 9 new supers are going to be an extra tree, another tree in each of our current subclasses.
Another attunement.
So that won't be changing. So, it's nice that they're doing this, at least with the exotics and stuff, like you said, to try to cater to the players that like to build specific builds for their play styles. You can even go all the way. It's interesting when I go into the Crucible with a loadout or something. I've started to like take a moment before I load in to look at the perks on each of the weapons that I think I like to use, because I forget that one may have kill clip or one may have this.
Yeah.
And you got to factor all that in, and then you throw these exotics and everything else on top of it. You can get pretty specific with some builds and play styles and stuff. So
yeah. And I'm really excited about what's coming in Forsaken, with the fact that they're basically making sure that every single subclass has a support option, and how we'll be able to like utilize those types of roles.
Yeah, dude, it's so fun. Like, it's great to just be able to put out a bunch of damage and stuff. But if you ever just take time in one play session to try to play a support build, even if it's in another game, it was always fun in Diablo or any other game. It is fun to like play support and in other types of games to be the healer or something. It's really, you don't get all these kills and stuff, but it's so rewarding to
some of the most, I think some of the most rewarding things to pull off in Destiny 1 was when you were getting ready to say like do DPS on a raid boss, and you had like a certain setup of classes, like you had a bubble, and then you would have like a guardian running radiance, like to like spam grenades, and like so they'd be doing some kind of dot build, and like you would have everybody like spec out this certain things, and they'd be like, okay, now, and everybody would like do their ability, and then they'd start, and everybody would be more impactful to the thing because you worked as a team and you strategize like, okay, we're gonna build, like everybody's gonna run this, and this, and I find that really fun, to like create
roles, specific
Yeah,
roles.
like roles and like create a solution to a problem, you know, and like lean into that and like min-max stuff. And, you know, it's very like MMO light, but it's fun enough.
Right. Yeah. When you factor in
so
everything else that Destiny offers, like, you know, that at least being in there in some fashion is makes it that much more fun. Yeah. So you talking about that?
Forward to like expanding that.
You talking about all that? Just I'm like hearing my friends say, "All right, we've got a bubble titan, right? Can you place your bubble right?
You run weapons
here."
Yeah.
Crota, right here at this specific spot. So funny.
I need a weapons bubble. I need a
dude.
what was the other one? You know, like
dip in and out of the
three
bubble.
different ones. Yeah. Bouncing in and out of them, and
don't shoot the rocket inside the bubble. Old school.
It was so fun. All right. So those are the changes to the armors that we're going to see. I'm looking forward to playing with some of this stuff next week and try it out, or this reset as you're listening. Next up, they bring resident archivist Roger Wolfson. How cool is it they have an archivist?
I know. It's like, what is this section?
Yep. He mentions they're doing some spring cleaning on the halo.bungie.net site. So they are retiring the read-only forums. So those are going to be wiped away. And then Bungie Pro Video is going to get cleaned up. So if you've got anything old you want to grab, they say do it in this week. And then finally, details of old Halo matches will be trimmed down to just line item scores. Your career pages will still have your overall medals chests, but individual games once. All changes go into effect June 28th at 10 a.m. Pacific. If you need to save anything, get it done before then. It like this section made me like realize that there will be a time in which This Week at Bungie covers multiple games. I was like, that's gonna be weird.
That's gonna be weird. Very weird. I laugh and they're like, 10 years later, we're finally doing some cleaning.
Right. That'll be Destiny one day, like retiring the old Destiny Grimoire scores or something like
something crazy.
Next up, Destiny player support. There was an issue this past week for players who purchased the Iron Ornament bundle, and it was not properly unlocking on Fighting Lion. So basically, they identified all the accounts. They're going to resolve it in the hotfix. End of story.
There you go.
Next up, movie of the week. Some
Back
stuff.
to Destiny 1 days.
Yep. Nightfall top scores, on and on. And I think they're going to have more info on update 1.2.3 next week.
Did you watch that unusual reward in the raid? Did you watch that one?
No, what was it?
Just watch it real quick. It'll take 2 seconds.
Okay.
Everybody, if you haven't watched it, go to the TWAB this week and watch the movies of the week. The first one's funny because it's Destiny 1 and somebody has on an Aldrin mask and goes up to Kade. But this one's funny, dude. Like, have you ever seen this happen? The Cabal just mutating, forming out of the raid chest. I knew you would enjoy that one.
So they pop the chest opens up and like a Cabal comes out of it like a Jack in the Box.
Yeah, it's so funny. And then all of a sudden, then the Engram pops out of there.
And the Engram comes out. That's so funny.
It was hilarious.
I've never
I love
seen
that they picked it as movie of the week too. Like just embracing.
Yeah, that's funny.
The randomness of the game.
The bars. I mean, these are cute, but guys, come on, create some content. The bar must be kind of low now. Like, you remember how competitive it used to be for movie of the week?
Yeah.
Like, people don't produce as much content anymore. If you have something cool, I would post it now. It doesn't seem like there are some amazing entries if this foreshadowing video won.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy too. I actually just saw a tweet go up today. A content creator was, saying that they don't get as much demand for like Destiny 2 gameplays and stuff, but it's crazy, dude. There is still a massive audience out there. It's a combination of not asking for it and, not creating it, right? Because I mean, I watched gameplay videos by some of the creators I liked, it's still, 30,000 plus K views, and
I
all
think
it
it's
is
the same.
I
think it's on both sides of the aisle. I think it's the same for Twitch. I think it's the same for YouTube. Like, there's an audience that's underserved, and then there's creators that are underserving, and both of them, I think, perceive that neither of them want to participate. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, same thing with the Destiny directory on Twitch and Mixer. It's incredibly small. But I look at YouTubers that are growing through all of this.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean,
I
we
look at
talked about
YouTubers
this.
that are still around and making a living.
We talked about this way back with Houndish.
The man's there.
He's been growing consistently through
Oh, yeah.
all of these many months, and you got to give some reasoning to the creators too. I mean, they don't want to force content, so that passion's got to be there too, right? So
absolutely, but and also people leave the space, or don't produce as much in the space. Like, there's plenty of creators that moved on to other games or retired, and that's always going to be a thing. But point being, like, there's still
demand.
people that, and even more so now because people are coming back. And anyways,
the
we
magic
can go on about that, but
the magic is here, and more is coming.
Yep. Okay. Also this week, we got the final Warmind Comic issue number 3.
I got caught up
was
today.
Great.
Yes, it was.
I loved this comic series. Loved it.
I loved the back and forth in the timeline.
Yeah, and they fleshed out a little bit more of her backstory and answered some questions people had, like, hey, I thought she died at Twilight Gap, and who her GF was, and how that went down, and like how she found Rasputin on Mars, and just answered a ton of those questions and told an interesting story, and
that's good.
It was great, man.
I enjoyed it.
I'd say if they're gonna do it again, bring the same writers they did for this series and the same artists, because I loved everything they did.
I would agree with you, man. It was very entertaining.
I you know what I would love, and we talked about this when the first one came out. Can they print some of these?
Oh yeah.
How cool would that be?
I'd love it. I'll throw them on the
Maybe
shelf.
they'll do that one day, or maybe they'll do like a compendium, like a book or something. That would be cool if they do like a bunch of them.
Yeah, everybody always wanted that official Bungie Destiny official, like, hardback grimoire too.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So next we're gonna like pour through some nuggets from different interviews. But first, can I just talk about something for a minute?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't here last week.
Let's do it.
There was like something really upsetting.
Yeah. I know. You need your moment. You gotta we need to get the couch, lay down.
I'm okay. So Kade's dead.
Yes.
That happened. And I told you I was gonna send a expanded speak pipe to give my opinion, but then that was the day I was driving home from out of town. I got home and forgot. So that didn't happen. But
what'd you think, man? Now's the time.
mean, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a strong choice.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, even the decision of that happening is a strong choice, and the showing us now is a big decision, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a statement. I think that they did, you guys were talking last week about, it would have been cool to see that and be surprised by that in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only reason that they did this was to make a statement, because they want to make a statement about, I think, what this tone of this expansion is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I've watched that trailer like literally 20 or 30 times, like over and over. And it continues to give me chills. Like, just the way that it was created with the editing, like the way the camera was, how visceral it was, and the expression on Aldrin's face, and then the music.
Yeah.
Choice of them. Oh my gosh, it just gives me chills just thinking about it. It was amazing, like, piece of marketing. Reportedly, that is not the same as the cutscene we'll see when that happens in the game.
Right, yeah.
I was watching Blesius. He had some takebacks from E3, and without spoiling too much, like, he says that he saw the actual, like, what happens to Kade, and it's, you know, there's more to it than that. He said there was definitely, like, a cutscene missing from what he saw, but he said, like, Kade goes out like a boss. That was his words. But that scene was not, like, exactly like what was pictured, which makes sense, you know. But
you okay?
I went through all the 7 stages of grief.
I was gonna say, are you okay?
You know, denial and trying to reconcile and bargaining, and, you know, like, until they came in some interviews and, like, very specifically said Kade and his ghost are dead.
Yeah. Oh, like,
and when they said his ghost is dead, I was like, wow, that's it, man.
Yep. As we like updated the show notes last week, because there was just so much, like, it's like I typed, okay, confirmed in one interview, like, almost 100% that Kade is dead. And then, like, another interview came out and was like, okay, they said it again. Like, it's for sure. And then another interview came out. They said it
several times, but some of the interviewers were smart enough to ask about his ghosts. And Deej and Scott both are quoted saying his ghost is dead as well. And he's dead as dead can be.
It's like Manny and I said last week. This is at least the outcome. I mean, this may turn into a soap opera or something, but for Forsaken, like, Kade is. We're not gonna have. I mean, at some point.
Yeah.
There you go.
So this opens, like, a huge can of worms. Like, who's gonna be the Hunter Vanguard?
Yep.
Absolute best theory I've heard is Aphrodite.
Yeah.
Aphrodite's a hunter.
Heard that too. Yeah.
I could totally see that going down. And I had a couple little theories, or just things to talk about that what we saw. So, first thing is, why is he in that position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the setup. Without spoiling too much, you go to the prison with Kade. I feel like that's not a huge spoil, because they show that in a clip. You're there with him. So you're there. So at some point when this is going to go down, and you see it go down. So, number one, why can't you do anything? Right? Number two, why is Kade not doing anything? Right? Because he's gonna go out fighting.
Yeah.
But he's not dismembered. He has his ghost. His ghost can heal him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the rules. They can't, even if, and we saw this in the campaign for Destiny, even if the light is gone, the traveler's gone, you're separated from the light, your ghost carries enough light, if it is alive, to heal you. Mm-hmm. It does that for us in the Destiny 1 campaign. And his ghost is, like, standing down, and Kade is standing down.
Which we just got a glimpse again of that with the issue of the most recent Warmind. Didn't Jinju did that for Anna. Yeah.
So why is he standing down, and why can't we do anything to help him?
Yeah. That's interesting, man.
Just off the cuff, I think that he, and also they, in some of the marketing, they say he makes the ultimate sacrifice. So he's doing it for somebody. He's doing it for us.
Ooh.
But why? What are we caught in? And why is he trading his life for ours? That's the question. That's what you need to be asking yourself.
Man, been thinking about this.
I have. I thought about it a lot.
Been mustering some ideas, some theories.
So that's what we need to be excited to find out. You know, we know what's going to happen, but the why is what really matters.
Yeah.
Why does he let that go down? Because he just stands there and he takes it, and his ghost, he's had to tell his ghost to stand down. So I'm interested to see the why here. It's got to be impactful, and I think probably the choice, like him laying it down for us, is what's going to make it really hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And why does that have to happen that way? So just think about that a little bit. One other thing somebody pointed out that I found thought was really interesting is the other image they show, which is like of a guardian carrying Kade away.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a stretch, but it's a motif very similar to something called a Paita, which is basically Spanish for lamentation, and everybody's probably seen it before. It's the image of Christ spread over the lap or in the arms of the Virgin Mary. A lot of people have seen that picture or motif before, and so somebody pointed out like him carrying Kade away, like that person carrying Kade away is very like similar to that. And then an even bigger stretch was like, okay, if they're trying to like do some Jesus Christ imagery, how would you resurrect Kade if that's what they're trying to allude to? And then they point out that there's this place where we assume the exos were created, and it's called the Deep Stone Crypt. So they were like, okay, there's this Paita of somebody carrying Kade away. Is he going to get resurrected? Will they put him in a deep stone crypt to get, you get where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
It's a stretch, but you never know.
Never know.
You never know.
I saw somewhere too that it was Kade carrying Kade before all of it 100% confirmed that he's.
Oh my gosh! Somebody was like trying to say it was the Exo Stranger, or it was like Jaren Ward. I was like, you guys are just pulling people out of your butts. I think it's just supposed to be a hunter. I think it's supposed to be us, like carrying him away as a hunter. All right. So anyways, that was a thing. Now let's throw out some of these nuggets. What do you got, man?
Yeah, we could just cruise right through these. These are just like last week, guys. This is all the stuff we've picked up on throughout the week that we felt was substantial enough to tell you about.
Yeah.
So first up, more interviews. Bungie and some of the dev team had an interview with Games Radar. Games Radar. And a lot of this, you might hear us say their names multiple times, but Steve Cotton and Scott Taylor, they're the two leads on this.
And then also like Chris Barrett is in one of them.
Yes, Chris Barrett, and then we'll hear from, Lars and
Deej
Roger
and
Stevens, all the
people.
The usual. So the campaign, it's non-linear. Steve Cotton says, you go on a hunt, you get to choose the way you are doing it, and who you're going after and in what order you want. So I think, we've learned
that's
that
referring to those 8 barons.
Yes, the 8 barons. So it sounds like it's cool. We don't, this basically tells us, it seems like we're going to get to choose which ones we go after and when. Now, I think also in that interview, he went on to say like there'll be different difficulty levels maybe for some of them. So, you might have to choose wisely.
Some
with
of
your
them will be more powerful.
Yeah. But they also said in this interview, the daily heroic missions are returning.
Yeah.
And apparently, I've heard from a couple different, angles and sources on this that they're going to also give powerful gear. We talked about last week how they're kind of mixing up the milestones a bit, and there's supposed to be now like a rework with daily, weekly, and even monthly milestones, giving us. Because we know we've got
and they mentioned some things might be like multiple times a week as well.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, we've got the base level grind to 50, and then, I was surprised, but it's cool. Like we're going to, the power level 600 now. So, we've seen what they've done, leveling wise with Warmind. And if that, flows into Forsaken, the power grind to 600 is going to be a bit. So, I'm hoping the balance feels right to know that it's gonna be great to have daily heroics back. People have been asking for those weeklies and then monthlies, and like you said, multiple times a week. Like I'm hoping the balance feels good and the leveling to 600 feels nice because we have so many different ways to go about it,
Yeah.
So,
but I'm excited for this because I like playing the campaign missions, but
yeah,
like with very little reward attached and whatever. It just hadn't been the same in Destiny. Destiny
you remember
2,
that back in the day? Yeah, I used to log on, and if I needed marks, I would run the daily. Yeah, for 15 marks, wasn't it?
I think so.
To get those vendor weapons. We eventually stacked them like crazy, those marks. Well, actually, no, they capped us out on marks, didn't they? Wasn't it like 200? So we had a reason to do those each
200,
week.
so you'd have to spend them to get more. And
Yep. The old balance.
They're also doing some things with strikes to make them more replayable.
Please, there are dungeons.
Detail that. And then in the Dreaming City, they explain you can go there solo and explore. And it's also can be considered an end-game alternative for non-raiding players. So there's going to be things that raiding players do that impact the world that non-raiders will experience. And they mention like they want those two groups to appreciate each other for how they'll impact that space separately. So for people that are not able to do the raids, that destination is going to feel like a pinnacle activity for them.
That's cool, man. Like they keep using the phrasing, and we talked about this a couple episodes ago with Lulu. Like it is, they are phrasing it as an end game destination.
Yeah.
A destination fully focused on end game.
They've thrown out Vault of Glass meets Dreadnought.
Yeah, so I'm pumped for this. I can't wait.
I cannot wait for what this is going to be, dude.
I mean, we've always
So
asked for
exciting.
back in the day, we wanted more difficult patrols and this or that, and we wanted public spaces to have those different, elements to it. And this is a destination for the end game guardian, the person that it's their hobby and they want challenging place to go and activities. So it's going to be cool to see what goes on at this for sure. I don't know. I'm hoping like, we've already speculated like 6 Guardian patrols and escalation protocol type stuff, but it feels like there's going to be surprises with what they're doing here. Not just
I'm
here's an
most
activity
excited
on patrol.
Yeah. I'm most excited as well that they said that it's going to like change over time and there's things that you won't find right away.
Yep.
That will like keep it engaging and keep people going back and exploring every week. And like, I can just imagine like logging in and be like, going to the Dreaming City. I gotta go check things out. Like, let me go see what's changed this week.
Yeah.
Like
it seems so cool. Can't wait.
I like things to explore. There was a Bungie interview on a Japanese site, fpsjp.net, and we were lucky enough to get some cliff notes from, did you get from Houndish?
Yeah, Houndish. Yep.
Right. So
he
credit to
found
him.
this.
Shout out. Scott Taylor mentioned they started producing Forsaken early in 2017. So that was before Destiny 2 even came out.
It's crazy to think
It's
about.
been in the works for a while. Over a year then.
Think about what they're working on right now.
Yep. Started conceptualizing it, talking about stories and content. They mentioned for Triumphs, there is a score.
Yes.
The score will be there when you log in and will pull and recognize for D2 Year 1 players and on, and will include Solstice of Heroes live event.
Yeah, so
So
basically...
it sounds a lot like the Return of Grimoire score.
Yeah. And they said here that it is like taking into account like the Solstice of Heroes live event we're getting this summer. So when you log in when Forsaken launches, all this stuff's going to catch up.
There'll be things that
and you'll get
are already
credit for
worth
certain
score.
things. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
I wonder what I'm wondering is like what our new display on our tag is going to be like, because they've already talked about that titles thing.
Yeah. Yep.
And I wonder like if we're gonna, you know, under your name, like you'll have a title and a score. I would love that.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah.
We'll see. He mentioned as well that powerful engrams, power leveling, etc., like those the methods of those things happening are going to be tweaked, like including milestones. Gambit is going to have its own milestones, weapons, armors, and exotics.
Yeah,
I know for sure there's at least one exotic that they mentioned is tied to it.
The one in the trailer, everybody was like saying was Thorn, and then realized it probably wasn't Thorn. That one looks really neat. And I think Lars is even quoted as saying like that exotic obviously is specific. Like you're going to want to take that thing into Gambit, whatever the perks are going to be on that thing. I don't know if that was
makes
on
sense.
Twitter.
I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, so I don't know. Who knows what perks it will have, you know, to cater towards Gambit. But and Taylor, he the way he phrased this was like as far as the powerful Engram and the milestones and the leveling, like they want it to be a grind. We've asked for it to be a grind. It's going to be all the way to 600, like we said. So I think basically they've considered that, and they're tweaking how we're going to play the game to level up as far as milestones and things like that. So I'm still baffled that like the daily heroic has been said it's going to give us a powerful engram. Like I'm just interested to see, like, I hope it doesn't feel like, okay, now they just jacked the power level way up and then just gave us a bunch of ways to get a powerful engram. But I don't, there's a happy balance there.
Yeah.
Like, I think it'll be fine because we want things to do and we want to feel like we're constantly leveling. So if they did that,
I would
still
be
think it'd probably
happier
be okay.
with like a power climb that takes a longer time.
With multiple ways to
with lots of ways to get there, but it could take like a couple months or something to get all the way up to 600. Like, but you like constantly just climb, like more of a steady climb than like a big burst and then you're done. Right?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, man. I just, like a couple weeks ago, I got max power on all my guys, and I immediately felt like, well, I don't have to run milestones anymore.
Right?
Like, it was like the gas ran out. Like, I'm still like, the game's still fun. There's still stuff like I can go do, but it was like, we all hit that, and everybody stopped raiding. Like,
I think there's that layer. And then the other layer is you feel like all you can do are the milestones.
Right.
Like the few that we have. There's not a whole lot of them. I mean, and it takes a bit to do them.
There's more now, but
yeah.
Like not all of them have the same reward level or necessity once you get to a certain point. Mm-hmm. But they're adding a lot more layers on top of whatever they're doing with milestones and power. They're adding more layers with collections and triumphs that I think are really going to like give me at least some more longevity to whatever we're consuming, whatever
it's
we're
like
doing.
It's seeming more and more like the hobbyist is coming back tenfold because it's okay, random rolls, collections, triumphs, daily, weekly, monthly milestones. Like, okay, what are we going to do?
So much to do, dude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then they mentioned in the Dreaming City, there's gonna be a required power level that's kind of high for specific activities, and that makes sense. This is gonna be an in-game place, right? Mm-hmm. So they're gonna have some gear checks along the way.
Yep. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see the different. I wonder if it'll be segmented out in different areas, like old school MMOs or something like that. We'll see. I guess how it works. Or activity specific, obviously. But okay, so. Moving right along, Scott Taylor again. I believe, actually, this was in a Twinfinite interview. This is a big one. We were talking about this before the show. He confirmed the power slot will house your rockets, your swords, your linear fusion rifles, and your grenade launchers. All other weapons can be assigned a primary or secondary. A shotgun could drop, and it could show up in your first slot, second slot, or your third slot, but they will be assigned to a slot. So that answers a lot of speculation and questions we've had over the last few weeks.
I think the only other like catch with that they have said is like certain exotics, like things like Acreus. Mm-hmm. That's going to be tied to power
slot. Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's going to be other things that are like kind of the exception, but with exotics, it can always be the case. Right.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah, and when I first read this, I was like, "Wait, fusion rifles? No, linear fusion rifles." Yeah, so your fusions are back to like
that's gonna give like a lot more differentiation between those. Mm-hmm. Like as it is, linear fusions are like built way more for single target DPS or what have you, like or long range stuff. But I think these are gonna give them like a little more legs to be different from a typical fusion. Right. They did like a really big buff and they're very, very effective in PvE on single target DPS. But I think putting them in that heavy slot may like just give them enough uniqueness to be used more.
Yeah, and they're fun to use too, even in PvP.
There's some good ones.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and then they mentioned the Tangled Shore, which is like, I think the other like main...
Destination, yeah.
Destination. Like they haven't said like patrol.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it's a destination with a patrol. That is an awoken tower in the center of the space that everyone is trying to get to, where there's asteroids tied together with different races, ships. Kind of a wild. It seems like like that's going to be the Wild West,
right?
Type of space, right?
Seems like a outer space asteroid, like themed, like, okay, this is just where everybody's like just mingling and
like total Western, like there's no law.
Yeah.
It's very wild and everybody's all smushed together trying to do different stuff. Mm-hmm. Sounds really cool.
It's interesting.
They also mentioned High Moon Studios has their main collaboration with Bungie has been working on the Tangled Shore and the new enemy combatants. So I'm interested to see how that turns out.
Yeah, there's just so much random info, dude. Like just trying to this feels like even more so than we've had in the past. I know even like with the Taken King and stuff, but now there's just so much communication everywhere.
It is a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun though. It's fun to get the different bits of information. It's just trying to get it all together. But we got another, I believe this was on Twitter. Robbie Stevens, he's a senior designer and Gambit product owner. Again, he confirmed Gambit will have specific armor, weapons, and more. The Drifter is the architect of Gambit. He is the new NPC that we've seen at the beginning of the footage.
Yeah, it looks like Young Khan.
There you go. What you talking about? Yeah. Yep. And his ship is the starting line. I thought this was interesting. So like when you're loading in, you're each team of 4 is on each side with him in the middle. And basically you can take that time, he says, to adjust your loadout, show off your new emote, but be sure to pay attention to his coin flip as that shows the enemy shield. Obviously you can match to keep your game on point is what he says. So I feel like maybe that had clicked for me, but I didn't even realize it. So that's
maybe they
neat.
didn't even show off that whole bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
So, I mean, that's cool. And, a whole new, it'll be interesting. We're learning little tidbits about him and what his.
Yeah, it was funny. Is. I was in the lore channel today in our Discord and I was talking with a non-pig and a member, Ryan is a Sith, about the Drifter. Mm-hmm. Because like I hadn't heard any of his audio. First of all, his voice is not what I expected. It's almost like a Call of Duty voice. But they have a cool voice actor. Like it's very dynamic.
Yeah.
But he has like some dialogue in some of the videos. Like there was one video that we were watching that Gigs has up of some gameplay, like I think it's about 30 minutes. But it has like a whole intro and games, multiple games. And so it has a bunch of dialogue that the Drifter has. And he says some really interesting stuff. Like he talks about, like he says something about how like what I've seen, the best way to kill a Guardian is with another Guardian. And then like he has a line where somebody's transporting to the other side. And he's
I saw that.
Embrace the darkness.
I saw
or
that,
something like that. Like, he says some really interesting stuff that's like kind of dark, and I don't know. I can't wait to. Oh, and then he has one line where he says, "This is how the Taken feel. Revel in it." It's like, whoa, man! Like, what are you into, dog?
Yeah, that's always the great thing about Destiny is, even without Grimoire, there's always plenty of backstory. We're going to be
there's like
more lore.
And
I mean, they've said we're diving back into the lore, stuff in different ways with Forsaken. So it'll be interesting to learn about this character for sure.
Yeah, he seems like a cool new guy, cool new character. He seems like if they hadn't killed Kade, this would be Kade's job.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
that can't happen.
But that's not gonna happen.
Oh, there was also a little tidbit too. They just confirmed that there's no locked loadouts in Gambit. That was another question somebody had.
That's good.
Yeah. There you go.
Scott Taylor and Chris Barrett had an interview on PC Gamer, and a couple things different that I pulled out of there. We had talked about this a little bit about the different types of bows. They did confirm there are short, medium, and long range bows. Mm-hmm. So there's like specialization for those. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see why you would choose each one. That's the first thing I thought about. Like, what are the obviously damage will play a factor.
Did you see that video they put up of the exotic bow on Twitter?
Yeah,
and it shoots like multiple arrows at once, it seems.
Yeah, once it hits. Yeah.
God, that little clip that they showed, like actual first person view, man, everything looked really beautiful. Mm-hmm. That they were showing. Like, it looked good.
I was like, dang, they're releasing a trailer on the bow in June. It's all the different pieces here. They're forming together.
Yep. And then they also mentioned that what they can say about the raid is that it is a direct connection to the story. It is a continuation of the story. It culminates in everything that you learn in Forsaken, but that doesn't mean the obvious thing. Mm-hmm. I think, and they've said something like this in a different way, I think that what they're alluding to is that Uldren is not the raid boss. Mm-hmm. Like, because people have like thrown that out, like, oh, maybe we fight Uldren, and they had another quote where they were talking about like there's what Uldren is doing, but there is an underlying like
reason.
There's something else going on.
Yeah, like
that you're going to find out about.
We don't have this in our notes, but I'm remembering other things that I watched this week, and they've hinted at
there was a quote somewhere.
What he's doing, he thinks is right.
Right.
And he has reasons for doing it, and it's like, okay, what is that?
I think what I'm getting from what they've said is like there's what Uldren did, and then there's like the Barons, and then there's that story, but there's some other bigger picture that we don't know about yet, mm-hmm. of something bad going down that we're gonna have to be a part of to stop. And I think that's what they mean is like the raid is going to culminate in all of that, and it's not as obvious as like, okay, it's about fighting Uldren.
Right. Yeah.
So I think whatever happens with Uldren may be resolved in the story, or maybe he gets away and, mm-hmm. That's the end of that. But
another thing is, a lot of Guardians have been asking for, I mean, just like the Taken King, we love when the raid has bigger meaning than just this thing going on the side. And for it to be directly connected to the story is a big deal. Like that's huge.
I'm excited about that because I think a big complaint that people had about Leviathan was that the connection was tenuous, and you to know what Leviathan was about, you had to play a specific adventure that a lot of people didn't play, and you basically had to get the lore from the collector's edition to know about even who Callus was, mm-hmm. and why he was showing up and what his ship was like. None of that made sense if you didn't get that, and I feel like possibly some stuff got cut, but and it's all really interesting if you go and read it, and then you go look at all the lore from the armor and what he says in the raid. Like, it all is fascinating and is a really cool part of the universe. But I think it has a lot more strength when it's going to continue as part of the story, like we saw in The Taken King, and like culminate in something thematically. And so, yeah, good things
stuff
there.
Yep.
A couple other things like that, just stuff that we pulled. I couldn't remember where I heard. I think this was in a video, but one of these guys specifically said Forsaken is larger than the Taken King.
Yeah, and
I was like, holy,
that's huge.
Crap. Are you serious?
Yeah, because you know, a lot of that big patch came with the Taken King too, where we got the quest system and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
So you know, I mean, there's equivalent things that we're getting, you know, a lot of quality of life stuff to that scope that we're getting, as well as them saying Forsaken is larger than the Taken King itself. So that's, I mean, September is looking meaty.
And they mentioned like there's going to be things outside the central story that you do after the story, which is very similar to the Taken King.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that. And another thing, this was another interview. I couldn't go and find it, but they mentioned that, and this excited me a little bit. The enemy Fallen that we're going to fight, they're not just like reskinned Fallen. They're actually Fallen that were dead that have been resurrected, and they're kind of like zombie-like, like in a creepy kind of horror way. Like their movements are kind of weird, like the Taken were, and
Destiny's zombies.
They move different and stuff. So I mean, this is almost like a new race.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Yep. Man, there's just too much. I saw something else today too in one of these interviews that said they spent a lot of time creating this enemy, like more. It specifically said more than they have in the past on different types of enemies, because the different barons and stuff that we'll fight have very specific mechanics to them. One's like has this thing that he flings around, and like
a flail.
Right. Yeah. Did you see this too? I think this was today. I just saw this. But anyways, just to bring it back in, there's a lot of detail put into this new enemy. So that's
I think that there's like a lot more going to this expansion than initially meets the eye. I think people are going to be blown away, dude.
Yeah, I'm hoping that after we finish the story, we'll even just the story alone, like the story that they're telling, whether it's actual quests, you know, however many cutscenes we get, who knows? But like when whatever we think is we completed the story, that we're like, wow.
Yeah, okay. And one other exciting thing about the story that they mentioned in an interview is that they set out to make a story that you will not typically sit down and complete in one sitting. So it seems like the length and the breadth of the story is going to be a lot bigger than a typical expansion. Yeah.
It's going to have that element too, where you're not playing it. It'll ultimately be the same, but you're not playing it in the same order as your friends.
Yeah.
Right. So that'll be an interesting dynamic too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like all the major stuff that we pulled out this week. If you're listening and there was something else cool, like a little nugget of information or even anything big that we missed, send us a tweet so we can catch it on the next episode, or tweet about it, because there's so much we're trying to cover. If you guys see cool articles or quotes or anything, like tag us on Twitter, send it to us in Discord, because there's so much coming out. You know, we're scouring and reading every day and finding stuff on Reddit and just everything we can do to keep you guys abreast. But if you see something cool, send it our way so we can help keep up.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Cyborg.
Yes.
How was your reset, buddy?
Well, let me tell you about my reset, because last week I didn't get to play any Destiny because the few days I was in town, I was like scrambling to get everything done
out of town?
so I could get out of town. And then I got back on a Monday and I didn't get to log on that night. So then this reset, this week, I spent all week trying to catch up from being gone. And you know what actually ended up happening? Because all of this is like a really poor excuse. I decided that I was going to try to squeeze in some new games while I had some time.
A little bit of time to do
I really
that.
wanted to play.
Now's a good time until that July 17th patch drop.
And it's some single player stuff that's a little easier to fit in, like at odd times here and there. So I've been playing a little bit of Jurassic World Evolution.
I tweeted about that game, man. I am so close. I might just like hold out a little bit longer, but
it's fun.
I want to play it so bad.
It's pretty fun.
SimCity, Age of Empires, anything like that, I love.
Yeah.
And then you take like my love for Jurassic Park and takes me back to being my childhood and playing that on my first home theater, and like I just want to play SimCity Jurassic Park.
Because when they announced this game, I was like, "You mean I get to make my own Jurassic Park?" Like, oh my gosh! So, as a sim, it's a sim light. So you know, coming from games like Civ and SimCity and stuff, like you're used to these really complex systems that are pretty deep and have like a lot of options. It's not as deep. Like there's less options for buildings than you would expect. And there's like, but you can do a lot with the tool set that they give you.
It's okay because you got dinosaurs inside your fences.
Yes. And actually what ends up like driving a lot of the game is you have these different 3 factions that you've got to keep happy, basically science, security, and entertainment. And you got to keep each of them happy. And if one of them like gets mad at you, they'll sabotage you and they'll like kill your power or open all the dinosaur gates or like do all this crazy stuff. You're like, oh no, like chaos happens. And then you'll have like different goals to unlock different stuff. So it plays more like, you know, when you would get those type of sim games and they would have like scenarios that you could do. That's a lot of what this game is. Like you have like different islands you go to and they all have different scenarios and like different objectives you can try to achieve. And then at the same time, you're trying to unlock all the dinosaurs and like get the right things to like right now I have access to a T-Rex genome, but I don't have the right fences to contain them.
Yeah.
I got to unlock like the concrete fences because if I just like throw him up with the regular fences, like he is just going to break out and kill everybody. So
I know I've been watching videos, dude, like people like transporting their brontosaurus to different areas and places with trees and water and trying to keep them because you can like go in on each dinosaur and see what if they're happy and what their stats are.
Yeah, you got to manage like the right space for each type of dinosaur and like their population and their social groups. Like I had this like this one type of dinosaur and I this was early in the game, but I realized, oh, he needs like friends because he kept getting pissed off and breaking out. I'm like, why is he so unhappy? And I had to go in and see, oh, well, his social groups are like 2 to 4. I was like, okay, so I got to make him 3 friends. And so and then they cooled off a little bit. So and that's kind of a fun part of it is you're like managing these dinosaurs and what they need as part of trying to make the park. So it's fun. It's a fun game.
Somebody was telling me at work today, the dinosaurs, if you put them together, will even fight.
Yes, you can make dinosaurs fight. Yep, and sometimes that's what they want you to do.
Yeah. What platform are you playing on?
I got it on PC.
Okay. Those games like they're just
PC game.
Yeah, like playing sim games like that just feels so
because you can keyboard jockey it and like do things really efficiently. You know.
I didn't even realize it was on console at first.
Yeah, our friend Blue has been playing it on his PS4, and he said it's great on console. So
okay, there you go.
Yeah. So I've been playing that, and then I've played a little bit of State of Decay 2, which I was really excited for, and really it's kind of like State of Decay 1.5 to be honest. But I liked the first game so much that it's still kind of fun. And so I've cracked that open a little bit
too, managing systems and stuff, right?
Yep, it's the same kind of thing. You're like surviving and managing a base and
the people
fighting zombies
with you. Yep.
Yeah,
I did enjoy the first one too.
So that's fun. Like I I kind of threw in the towel. I'm gonna be honest. I threw in the towel on Iron Banner and faction rallies, and it's because I tried really hard to get to rank 50 on faction rally last time to unlock all the stuff on Dead Orbit, but like I just did not have the time. And to pull it off, I would have had to like stay up awake till like 5 or 6 in the morning the last day of the reset. I was like, I can't do this. Like I've got work in the morning. Like I can't do this. So I just gave up trying to do it that one. And then now it's like, am I going to do that like 3 weeks over the summer? Like pointless repetitive grinding to get these tiny little rewards that are all going to be less shiny by September.
Right.
I'm just like, I'm just going to play casual this summer. Like, I can't do that. I just can't. So I decided to like back off a little bit. Let me play some other games too this summer to like enjoy those, because I wanted to play those. And, I kind of like grinded Destiny super hard since Warmind. And there's a few things I want to do. I want to go get the exotic sword and unlock some other, like there's little things that I'm still gonna go do, but I'm not gonna grind those events super hard. Like, I don't know, I lost my drive for that. I think it's just a little too much for not enough reward for me.
Yeah, I strategically just, because I couldn't put in enough time either. I hit rank 30 on Dead Orbit, so I'm like, okay, I'll hit 50 on the next one. 20 levels won't be too bad, and then I'll try to do what I can with Future War Cult and the Sunshot Catalyst. But it's like I don't have a full set, so when that third event rolls around, I don't have the full set bonus. I don't have, like, I'm gonna have 1 week to hit 50 on Future War Cult, and it's like, man. So I'm kind of the same, and I was gonna talk to you about Iron Banner a little bit this week too. Like I have, other than the fun factor with your friends and the Derp fam, that's there. 6v6 is fun. I have like no incentive to play Iron Banner. I enjoy it as an event, but like none of the guns. There's nothing that is incentivizing me to grind. The ornaments, like the ornaments are cool. I love that system, but it's not enough to get me to play. And the weapons, I really was hoping we'd see some spicy perk combinations on the weapons, and there's nothing. No one's that I've seen even up to this point is talking weak, about any of the weapons.
Iron Banner weapons used to be really significant.
Man. That was and it's like I always go back to you play video games for fun. And Iron Banner is a fun time with your friends. The Crucible is fun. You can definitely jump in and just have a good time. But Destiny is a loot game too, and it's like I love having a gun that I'm grinding the packages for, or this or that. And people have talked about how they want the in-game reward screen back, because that was always fun. And I don't know, man. Like I just decided like, I'm going to do other things this week. I played Destiny. Like I'm kind of creating my own little triumphs. Like I'm going back and I finally got the Sturm. Like I finished that quest, and nice. Like I never did that before, and I've wanted to since they did the tweaks on those weapons. I just did my milestones on my Titan and my Hunter. I have my Hunter up to like almost 360 now. And I just I played Fortnite a little bit on Switch, and I played Fallout Shelter on Switch, so I'm fitting a little bit of Switch action. Nice. But I straight up, I did not play any Iron Banner. I don't know. I just kind of told myself this week, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna. It's not even that anything is. It's still a fun event.
There's nothing bad.
Yeah,
there's nothing bad, and I think we're of the same mind, and we're both sorry that you're listening to a Destiny podcast this week, and we didn't play the event, but
right, yeah, it's just I don't know, that's
it's also the summer, man.
Yeah, I mean I played Destiny this week though, and I didn't feel enough incentive to jump in Iron Banner. If I would have got an invite. Like I played at random times like I do, and a lot of people weren't on. But if someone would have shot me an invite, heck yeah, that would have been fun. 6v6 with the Derp fam, like it would have been a good time. But when I sat down and decided if I was going to play it solo, there was nothing that I wanted to grind for. And that, that's kind of a big deal. Like I feel like the weapons should be a bit more spicy, something that you want.
Yeah, I think ultimately, one of the biggest problems for me in year 1 of Destiny 2 is a watered down loot pool. Where there's just not enough special stuff across the activities that I'm interested in.
Right.
Especially pinnacle activities that take time investment, that come and go, Iron Banner, faction rallies, raid layers, stuff that I would normally be on every single week. Destiny 1, like there's just not, like it's not significant enough. And the thing is, is that stuff is fun, but you know what? We've been doing that stuff for 3.5 years. Okay, so this is not Destiny 1 anymore, where it's like Iron Banner's so new, Trials is so new. Like, it's there, it's been there for a while. Like, am I gonna go cap a control point for the 1 millionth time? Like, it's still fun. Like, it's still a fun loop. It's still fun games, but I'm not necessarily missing a whole lot. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just to sum up my point, so that's why those activities have less allure for me now. And I'm really looking forward to the future, because we're going to have new things, totally new things to do and totally new things to chase. That's going to give me more interest,
Yeah, I think there's different layers where they're addressing it. They obviously have addressed different things with the faction rallies. I think people are still maybe wanting even some more depth there, but it really all boils down to, I like several, we've talked about the faction rallies. I like many things about the faction rallies. They changed, a couple things I'd like to see tweaked, but it all boils down to the weapons. And I kind of, with everything else that was happening, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the Iron Banner weapons in Season 3. And then it was like, oh, okay, so I mean, that's a big incentive, man. That's the loot. I don't mind the system. I like, say whatever you will about tokens, but I like having a numbered level to grind with Saladin and unlocking different rewards as you level up. But I don't want any of the weapons. So, I mean, of course that's going to play into your incentive and your drive to want to do it.
And I like the way that the ornaments look, like basically the new outfits, but that's not enough.
Right.
For me.
And I like that layer. That can stay with some other tweaks. And I think, power
it's just
level.
not enough by itself.
Right, exactly. I think power level, a couple other things they're doing. Power level mattering. Power mattering is a big deal in September. And random rolls. We should see random rolls again with these events, hopefully. So those are two big things, man. And I think that, if that was in place right now this week, that was always fun to get a clever dragon to drop at the end of your match in Destiny 1 and see what your perks were. Like, you grinded all week for that. We got to the point in Destiny 1 where he would have a decently pretty solid roll, but there was always one or two that were better. So you would spend the week grinding that out to try to get that one, and that, I mean, that's just the weapon roll creating that incentive, so I think that'll be a big piece of it in September.
Yeah, I agree. Well, next week we'll be back. I'm definitely going to play some Destiny this reset, I promise. Not quitting. Just took a little time off to play some stuff, but I will play some faction. I think I'm going to finish off. Well, I don't know. I think I might go do New Monarchy this reset because I want to grab the ship and a couple other things. I don't know if I'm going to make it to rank 50. And then I'll probably finish Dead Orbit next time so I can at least make sure I get one of the catalysts. Yeah. And then that's going to be it for me for faction rallies. But I want to go collect stuff this week and try to get World Line 0.
That's what I'm doing, cool. Man. I went to see what exotics I didn't have, and I'm kind of doing the summer roundup.
Yeah.
Finishing things. You know what, though? Listeners, Let us know what you thought about Iron Banner. We'd love to hear it. Tweet us at Destiny Reset or email us at DestinyResetPodcast.
Are you playing? Did it interest you? Was there anything that you got that you really liked? What would you like to see in Iron Banner in the future?
I'm curious just to hear from you guys if you played a lot of it this week at this point, just like we were talking.
You know what I think Iron Banner needs? I think it needs zone mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I think.
There you go. Cyborg's hot take.
That's my hot take. All right. No Derp Fam Discourse this week, but guys, we gave you plenty of times to sound off. So next week we'll hear back from you in Derp Fam Discourse. Let's give some patron shout outs.
Let's do it. Yeah, we got 3 last week, 3 this week. Shout out to King Shannon, Triple A Dre. I like that. And Zach Venezuela.
Nice. Some cool names.
Yes.
Thank you guys for becoming patrons. If you don't know what a patron is, go to patreon.com/Destiny Reset, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the production budget of our show. And in return, you get a shout out on the show. You get your gamer tag on our website. And you also get an invitation to our Discord channel just for patrons and supporters, where you get to ask us anything you want. Like, what did you have for breakfast today, AER0KNIGHT? Was it that sandwich place you like?
For breakfast, man, I too often skip breakfast.
I know, I do too a lot.
Yeah.
I read that it's a fallacy that breakfast is so important that actually it's okay to skip breakfast a lot.
Really? Man, I can go a long time without eating. I don't know how or why, but
I just have to eat by lunch. If I skip breakfast, I have to eat by noon or I will crash.
I I'll get hungry. Even if I skip breakfast, I'll get hungry at a certain point. I take a super late lunch. But I can get out of being hungry and like not eat. I'll eat like a little snack, something not probably super healthy throughout the day. Just like a bag of chips
over a certain time frame where you're
and then not eat until dinner. But I will tell you, if I eat breakfast, I'm starving about 2 hours sooner.
Oh, I know, yeah, because it kickstarts your metabolism.
Yep.
So like if I get up and it's like 7 a.m. and I eat something, then by like 10:30, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta eat. Like, yeah. So it's almost like I almost feel better to not eat breakfast sometimes because I'm like, well, then I'm gonna be hungry later.
Yep.
But there's all these diets now that utilize like fasting and stuff that are supposed to be like really good, like effective ways of, like maintaining a good diet. And a lot of them are like you don't eat between, like one I was reading, you don't eat anything after 6 p.m. and you don't eat again until 10 a.m. And then between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. you eat whatever you want, as much you want, and you just eat at that very specific time of the day. And that fasting that you have like helps like burn fat and helps like mitigate your metabolism and stuff. It kind of makes sense.
I always feel amazing when I work out, because I think partially, one, because I'm working out, and two, because I am hungry more often and I eat more regular, balanced. Like I'll eat a little breakfast because I'm actually hungry because I burned some calories, and then I'll eat a little mid-morning little apple or peanut butter sandwich, and then I'll eat lunch. There's not that I mean, everyone knows this, I'm sure. There's not that like didn't eat breakfast, go get the greasiest thing ever for lunch, like, and then like almost fall asleep
at lunch
in your office with the carbs crash in the afternoon.
I ate pretty good today though. I had like just a Subway turkey sandwich for lunch, and it was like delicious. And then we
not
went
too
to
heavy,
like a diner burger place for dinner, and it was delicious, but it wasn't anything like crazy bad, and I felt pretty good today.
Yeah.
But some days I go and I get like the greasy cheeseburger lunch.
You go to that place, when you're done eating it, you're going to be like, why did I eat this?
Like, I'm starving and I want grease and fat.
That's always where I start, dude. With any meal choice, is the two things that I go: do I want greasy or do I want not greasy? That's my first choice.
Do I want fats and sugars, or am I just gonna try to give myself nutrition today?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I almost decided after lunch, because it was like satisfying and a very good sandwich. I was like, let me just do just a sandwich every day for lunch this week. Like, why don't I just try to go to Subway every day this week?
Sandwich.
Maybe I can train myself out of all these greasy lunches and see how I feel. So I'll let you know how it goes.
Even a good old, just classic bread, cheese, and some sort of meat sandwich at home is always good, man. Like, just a nice balance.
I mean, like up until about 2 years ago, I packed a lunch every day, and that was it. It was just a sandwich of some kind, like turkey or tuna or something, and then like something to go with it, and then like fruit, and then that was just lunch every single day, and it was so much healthier.
Yep, and you save money.
Yep. Oh yeah, I got out of that though, and things I've put on a little weight.
Dude, I walk out the door. I just did it again today. I have leftovers lunch in the refrigerator from our dinner the night before, and I walk out the door and leave it in the fridge. Yeah, I leave it in the fridge.
I would do that like a couple times a week. I would do the leftovers if we had that, and then I would do like sandwiches the other days. But I think what ended up happening though was like I just literally like burnt myself out. I was like, if I have to look at another turkey sandwich, I'm gonna barf, and that's when it stopped. Like I didn't mix it up enough.
It's all about the chips.
Threw in the towel. Yeah,
it's all about a good old homemade sandwich. The factor is the chips. What kind of chips are you gonna eat with it?
See, I started buying like Doritos Cool Ranch, and I would put it in the sandwich.
Yep.
Do you ever put it in the sandwich? Oh, it's so good.
Yep.
Now I gotta make one. I'm gonna have to make one this week. Those are so good.
Well, guys,
this is American white people food, guys.
And this is the conversations that you can have in any channel, really, but bringing it all back to our Discord channel for patrons and supporters.
Yeah, if you're in Discord, this Tuesday, let us know if you do sandwich with chips in the sandwich. If you ever tried that, it's good. Let us know your combinations.
Was a couple weeks ago, we went off on it was the day of the Forsaken reveal stream. Like right after the reveal stream, everybody was talking in general. We were talking about Forsaken. Then all of a sudden, everybody started talking about snack cakes.
That's what it was. I came into the channel and there was like,
it's like, where's the
pages
Forsaken
of
talk?
Snack cakes, and I was like, wait, hold on a minute, I gotta chime in on this.
Yep,
we gotta talk about these snack cakes for a minute.
Cake rolls, zebra cakes. Oh,
yeah,
good stuff.
Snack cakes, good. See, that's another, snack cakes. They didn't help me with my.
Dude, you're talking about this whole don't eat after 6 diets every night, but when I go to bed, whether it's 10 p.m. or like right now, tonight it'll probably be 2 or 3 in the morning, I will grab some Oreos and milk, or I'm going to get a snack cake and some milk, and that's how I just like go into a sleep.
Yeah, I do that too. It's that bad habit of having high metabolism that you can get away with stuff like that.
Yep.
But we're not getting any younger.
Nope.
It's slowing down. It's slowing down a little bit. All right, man. Let's wrap this thing up.
That might have been the longest tangent we've ever had.
Yep.
It's appropriate for our 3-year anniversary.
The show. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and YouTube and Twitch at AER0KNIGHT with a 0. What about you, man?
Wonderful. You can find me at CyborgSasquatch on Twitter and Mixer. And then finally, you can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter or Destiny Reset Podcast at gmail.com or DestinyResetPodcast.com, which is your source for all things DRP. Be sure to subscribe to us on your favorite app of choice. Thank you for your iTunes reviews if you've left one, or aka Apple Podcast is what it's called now.
Yep.
Are we on Google Podcasts, that new thing?
No, we're just on Google Play.
I think it migrated over. We need to check that.
Yeah. The other thing, we're still working on a Spotify. It's like super secret way to get on Spotify that we're still trying to figure out.
Well, they have to like review you and stuff,
Yeah.
and it takes a while. Like there's like a person doing it.
Yeah.
So
we use Spotify every day. We have a family plan. Like
I do too. I have Spotify.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where you can find us. Thanks for Apple Podcast reviews. If you're on Apple, please leave us some stars if you would. Yes. And that's it.
Yeah. No new reviews this week, but that's okay.
Yep.
We're getting up there. We're still looking for that 200 mark, guys. If you want to leave us a review,
close.
We appreciate it. All right, dude. Well, it's great to have you back. Well-deserved vacation and week off for you last week. But I'm glad we get to talk about all this stuff that happened. There's just every week. There's too much stuff, dude.
I know.
Okay. Until next week, have fun playing Destiny 2 and take care, Guardians.